So then, hello there everyone and welcome, it is Niran here, and today it is time for yet another FIFA 17 career mode experiment on this channel. Today we've got a slightly different one in terms of the trend on the channel recently. We'll be taking a look at what happens when the best players of 34 years of age and older play in the Premier League. So a slightly more wordy version of what I've just said is we're basically going to be taking the best players of 34 years old and above on the entire game, not just in the Premier League, but those who are 34 or above in the entire world. So the likes of Buffon and Joaquin and stuff, they will also be featuring, not just the likes of Ibra and Czech, although I'll show you this full squad in a moment. And we're going to be taking them into a Premier League season and seeing what happens. Now the squad is very good, but of course these guys are going to be aging throughout the season, so will they get progressively worse to the point where they're really bad? We'll have to wait and see, and we'll maybe monitor that progress as we go on through this experiment. But if you do go on to enjoy the experiment, then feel free to slap a like on the video, subscribe if you're new to the channel as well. We're using West Ham, don't even ask me why we're doing that. There was literally no reason, I just felt like mixing it up because we haven't used West Ham before. So here is the squad in the background. Unsurprisingly, I suppose the goalkeeper is one of the strongest positions because you tend to get more older goalkeepers than you get older wingers, for example, especially 34 and over. So Gianluigi Buffon is the captain and goalkeeper of the side, 88 rated. The defence is Patrice Evra at left back, John Terry, the 81 rated Chelsea centre back here. We've got Barzagli as well from Juventus, 86 rated, and Cerna, the Croatian fullback here at the right side of defence. Joaquin at right mid, Xabi Alonso and Michael Carrick as defensive mids, and Ruben Castro, although he's a striker, he's playing at left mid because I think he can play there on the game. Attacking mid is Kaká, and up front is the one and only Dare to Zlatan. It is Zlatan Ibrahimovic, the 90 rated player and the best player in this side, but he is not going to be immune to decreases in stats as well, which will be an interesting dynamic as this experiment progresses. The bench here you can see as well, Petr Cech, we've got Maxwell from PSG, Iker Casillas, Berezutski from CSKA Moscow, as well as Aduriz, David Villa and also Gareth Barry, and in the reserves, would you believe, is Samuel Eto'o, Francesco Totti and Bruno Alves. What we're going to do as always is we're going to sim to the end of the season and see how the squad does in the table and also in terms of the player stats, but there's a bit of a difference for this one. We'll also stop halfway through the season, take a look at how they're doing in the table in the first half of the season, and also look at what they're doing in terms of squad report as well, so how they've decreased in overall and how generally bad the squad has got in comparison to the start of the season. So this sim should take us, or the first half of this sim should take us to January. We'll assess how the squad has undeveloped, if you like, and how the overalls of the players has changed, and we'll take a look at how they are doing in the league. This side is actually a 5-star team, so they should be up towards the top of the table in terms of the first half of the season's results, but obviously as they decline in overall, those results may change and may get worse as we go along. So we've arrived at just after the halfway point. Actually, the halfway stage of the season is 19 games. We played 20 games in this season, and you can see the table in the background. Manchester United are absolutely running away with the league at the moment. 11 points clear, sorry, I can't even do simple maths. 11 points clear of Chelsea, who currently sit second at this point in the league, and then they're just ahead of us based on goals for. So the team of oldies, if you like, is currently sat third in the Premier League. This is the interesting part though. This is the squad report, or one of the interesting parts. This is the squad report at the halfway stage of this experiment. You can see already a bit of a decline for Gianluigi Buffon, who's gone down by 1 to 87. Dario Cerna has also gone down by 1, Barzagli down by 1, Terry down 1 to 80, Patrice Evra actually down by 2, he's now 80 rated, Xabi Alonso down by 1 and his sprint speed etc is getting even worse. Carrick is now down to an 80, he started at 82, Joaquin and Ruben Castro also down by 2 overall, Kaká is down from an 82 to an 81, Zlatan Ibrahimovic has moved away from 90 and is now at 89, he's decreased by 9 on acceleration and 11 on strength. Berezutski down by 1 to 78, same for Bruno Alves. David Villa has gone down by 2, he's at 80 rated, although his form is excellent supposedly. Aritz Aduriz is down by 2 from 84 to 82, Maxwell is down 1, Petr Cech is the only player on the side that hasn't gone down in overall, but some of his attributes are falling. Iker Casillas is down by 1 to 81, Eto'o has declined, so has Gareth Barry, and actually no, sorry, I was wrong about Petr Cech. Francesco Totti has also stayed the same. The 40-year-old is 80 overall still. Anyway, we are now going to sim to the end of the season, and we'll see just how this team of just legends, if you like, legends of the game and very old players does at the end of the Premier League season. So we have arrived in May, and here is how the table is looking. In the end, Manchester United didn't end up walking the league. Chelsea did catch up towards them, but United did still win the league, but only by 1 point rather than the 11 they were winning by earlier on in the season. Talking of earlier on in the season, West Ham, the team of oldsters, was keeping up relatively well, but equally they did drop from 3rd in the league down to 5th. Still pretty decent, and as I said, only 6 points away from the league leaders or the league winners, so they didn't really drop off all that much, only in terms of position. They did of course fall outside of the top 4 though. Did still beat Arsenal, Manchester City and Spurs in the end, so a pretty respectable result despite the team's overall rating actually decreasing as the season progressed. And here is how the team finished in terms of rating. Gianluigi Buffon went down by 2, Dario Serna only down by 1 in the end, not a bad season actually in terms of decrease for him. Barzagli down 2 to 84, Terry down 2, below 80 now to 79, Patrice Evra down by 3, I think his decrease might be the worst out of the entire squad. Xabi Alonso and Michael Carrick down by 2, same for Joaquin. Ruben Castro down 3 as well, though he's retiring at the end of the season. Kaká down 2 to 80, Ibra down by 2 as well in the end to 88. Berezutski is now a 77, same for Bruno Alves. David Villa down by 3 to 79. Aduri is down by 3 as well, he's now 81 rated, is the 36-year-old. Maxwell down by 2. Petr Cech did end up bowing down to the pressure of going down, and overall he ended up at 87. Iker Casillas down by 2 to 80, Samuel Eto'o down by 2 to 79, Gareth Barry also decreasing, but Francesco Totti, the man, the myth, the legend, went down on a few of his attributes but stayed at 80 overall. Like you could, I mean, he's never going to not be 80 overall, is he? The kid could just carry on till he's about 70 and he'd still be 80 rated. Here's your player stats though. I won't go into these in that much detail because it's not that important in this experiment, but you can see the top scorers list here. Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Castro. Ruben Castro ended up in the top 10 for the top scorers list in 6th and 7th respectively, with 14 goals and 13 goals respectively, and apart from that there is no one else featuring in the top scorers list. Looking at assists, and Joaquin managed to get himself in the top 10 for that with 6. Decent tally of 5 as well for Xabi Alonso, the main man in terms of being a playmaker realistically, let us be honest. And also in 16th place as well is Ruben Castro. Decent season for him actually, getting 5 assists on top of his decent tally of goals. And when we look at the clean sheets, Iker Casillas actually seemed to play the most amount of games despite being the worst rated goalkeeper in the side. He got 8 clean sheets across the season. Gianluigi Buffon got 4 as well, and no place in the end for Petr Cech. But strange that Iker Casillas seemed to play the most amount of games when he was 82 rated and the other 2 goalkeepers were 88 rated at the start of the season. Just seems to make no sense really. Anyway, that is the end of that experiment. The team of oldsters has done respectably well actually in the Premier League. There's some very good players in there. It was a stacked side at the start of the season, but obviously as the season progressed the team got worse and they started to drop off just a little bit. You could tell they dropped off just a tad in the second half of the season, but still a very respectable result, getting 5th and of course Europa League football that would be across the season. I've just noticed that Eden Hazard scored 26 goals across the season. That's the biggest tally I've ever seen on a FIFA game in a sim on career mode. That's absolutely astonishing. Anyway, we didn't have Eden Hazard unfortunately, and so we only came 5th in the league, but a pretty fun experiment to do there. If you've got any suggestions as well for experiments to do in the future, then make sure to drop them in the comment section. I hope you've enjoyed this specific experiment though. If you have, then make sure to slap a like on it, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and comment about enjoying the video if you enjoyed it that much. You can also now follow me on Twitter Twitter as well. My handle will be on the screen. It is at the official FNG. Links to it are in the description. But it has been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.
Come to the vape looking like gold medalist with Kurt Angle boots on. And I don't wear the boot on, but they got normal shoes on. Gonna like yo with the shoe from. Get them to the yo Uncle Jar. I ain't got a flex on no one. I'm the original Don. Come to the vape looking like gold medalist with Kurt Angle boots on. And I don't wear the